Holy shit, guys. Twitch fucked up. So if you've been keeping up with the latest drama, something pretty bad happened at TwitchCon. Of course, it's TwitchCon. Seems like there's always something that happens at these fucking conventions. Emiru was doing a meet and greet when this random fan cuts the line, just walks up to her, hugs her, and then tries to kiss her. I can't play the video because, apparently YouTube is taking down videos that have the clip, but I'm sure you can find anywhere on, Twitter, Reddit. It's a very short clip. Guy just walks up to her, gives her a bear hug, and then you can see him turning his head and, like, trying to take her head to, like, give her a smooch. It is very fucking disgusting. Now you're probably wondering, how could this happen? Because that's what I was wondering. A whole bunch of shit happened right after this event took place. Emiru herself and a bunch of other streamers responded to this. Tectone, asmongold. I've seen tons of VTubers talking about it too. So let us start from the beginning. Emiru actually herself talked about how she couldn't bring her usual security guard to TwitchCon because apparently they banned him for doing his fucking job.
I don't think that's true. Okay, maybe I should talk about this, whatever, who cares. I had a security guard 2 years ago where there was a guy following me around TwitchCon, and he like asked him to stop multiple times. My guard asked him and the guy wouldn't stop, so he grabbed the guy, but he didn't like hurt him. He was just holding the guy until like the con security came. And then for some reason they're like, yeah, because your security guard touched him, he's like perma-banned from the venue forever. But he didn't even hit him or anything. He just like held him while they waited for like the police to come. And
what the fuck? And
it was like my favorite security guard. I can't have him at TwitchCon anymore. I was just
That's
like,
fucked.
okay, like it was so sad because he did like everything.
He was literally just protecting her from another creep. And he gets perma-banned from TwitchCon. Didn't hurt the guy, didn't do anything like super turbo illegal, just held his arm, tried to make sure that he didn't like run away or something as the fucking security came to take him away. Oh, but he touched him, therefore he's not allowed back. What a fucking criminal. Like, what the fuck is this? Anyways, apparently Tectone and asmongold both predicted the end of TwitchCon. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure tons of people are gonna be outraged by this. I'm outraged. Tectone had said, if you're attending TwitchCon, please walk out. There's many other things to do in San Diego. It is unsafe there. Twitch staff and Dan Clancy are incompetent. Of course, Tectone responded with his own video talking about this.
TwitchCon just started about 3 hours ago. I have been warning absolutely everyone not to go. If you haven't seen by now, the reason why I'm very angry is because a very good friend of mine did a podcast with her, was part of OTK with her, someone who I respect very much, someone who has been very kind to me my entire time since I've known them. A streamer by the name of Emiru got sexually assaulted at TwitchCon by a deranged fan on camera in front of a crowd with security guards there. Twitch Dan Clancy wants to talk about increased security measures. They want to talk about how this TwitchCon will be different. If you're a streamer, if you're a viewer, leave TwitchCon now. Get out. This happened within the first 3 hours. You are not safe there. You're just not. You're not. This needs to be the last TwitchCon that ever happens. They need to shut this shit down, and to be honest, I think they should absolutely get sued for not being able to ensure the safety of the streamers when they say, hey, come meet this streamer right here. Because you want to know why it's so bad, guys? You want to know the worst part? Emiru had a security guard 2 years ago that attended TwitchCon, where another fan was attempting to sexually assault her. and the security guard stopped him. But because Twitch official head staff didn't agree with the way that he stopped him, which by the way was just him putting his hands on him and making it to where he couldn't leave while the police arrived, they permanently banned him from ever being a part of TwitchCon again. So the security guard that did their job to make sure that Emmy was safe was banned, meaning the fault of this lies entirely on Dan Clancy's head. I want to speak directly to Dan right now. You are a fucking buffoon. You are a moron. You can't moderate your own site. You think that you can moderate a live event? The security around there is a joke. I want to remind you, NMP and Wake Wilder were also sexually assaulted by a fan last year. You were letting streamers run amok, push other streamers into fucking moving trains. And you did nothing.
Couldn't agree more. As he mentioned, this isn't the first time that this kind of thing has happened, and I will get into that very shortly, but I wanted to look at a couple other things before we get into that. Of course, Moist Critical has also responded to this.
There's a lot I want to talk about here after seeing what happened at TwitchCon last night with Emiru being assaulted by a rogue lunatic fan who just walked completely unimpeded past the line at her meet and greet and unconsensually hugged her and looked like tried to kiss her, which is textbook assault. And it's very scary that it was able to happen so easily here. He was shoved off by a security guard, but then he just walked away. The full clip goes on for about a minute and a half longer, but you've now seen the entire security presence here for the Emiru meet and greet. One person. One security guard. I have seen a stronger security presence at my dilapidated local Winn-Dixie.
So yeah, as he said, not her preferred security guard, it was only just the one guy. Of course, I couldn't show the clip because, again, I heard that YouTube videos are going down because they're just showing the clip, which I think is ridiculous, but I digress. Twitch did actually respond. They said in a tweet, "The safety and security of all those attending TwitchCon is our highest priority. The behavior displayed by the individual involved in the incident yesterday involving a high-profile streamer was completely unacceptable and deeply upsetting. In line with existing TwitchCon security protocols, law enforcement and event security were on site and responded to the incident. We immediately blocked this individual from returning to the TwitchCon premises, and they are banned indefinitely from Twitch, both online and in-person events. We are coordinating with the impacted creators team and, per our standard protocols, continue to cooperate with any law enforcement investigations. We have increased security at the meet and greet attendee check-in point and will have additional security personnel surrounding participating streamers. If you've RSVP'd for a meet and greet, please note that we are unable to accommodate +1s for the remainder of the event. Twitch has zero tolerance for harassment or acts that inhibit the safety and security of our community." And this quickly got community noted. The community note reads, according to Emiru, the assaulter was not detained until hours after the incident happened, and was done so after her manager was pressing Twitch to do something. She also states that Twitch security did not step in when the incident happened and laughed about it afterwards. Oh my god, and we're gonna get to that. Of course, Tectone responds with, "Safety's your highest priority? You banned Emiru's security guard because he did his job 2 years ago. The fault of this rests solely on Twitch and Dan Clancy's head. What a joke." Then Twitch reached out to Zach Bousset with a statement about the Emiru situation. I hope I'm saying his name right. Says the individual was immediately removed and banned indefinitely from platform. Bousset asked for additional information, including if the guy was arrested. Zach says Twitch reached out with a statement saying, "The safety and security of all those attending TwitchCon is our highest priority. The behavior displayed by the individual involved in this incident was completely unacceptable and deeply upsetting. We immediately removed this individual from TwitchCon premises, and they are banned indefinitely from Twitch, both online online and in-person events. Twitch has zero tolerance for harassment. I've asked for additional details about whether the man was arrested or charges were filed, what they are doing to improve security for meet and greets, and why they haven't made the statement on their own social blogs. I'm guessing that changed since Twitch did post to Twitter. But then Zach posts this. Taylor Lorenz interviewing Dan Clancy about the situation. And this is what Dan had to say.
And others. Obviously, we saw one Twitch streamer yesterday, Emiru, get assaulted by a male fan. And a lot of streamers have, especially female streamers, have talked about, the danger that they feel from these sort of toxic, I guess, parasocial kind of creeps. What are you guys doing to prioritize safety? Because I know also a bunch of Twitch content creators said that they were too scared to even come to TwitchCon this year, just in case something like what happened yesterday would happen.
The safety of our creators is a top priority. The challenge we face is a challenge in today's society. It's not limited to Twitch, it extends throughout our society. I do think that when you're live streaming, in many ways, since you control your community and you can ban people, you can make it so that those people that you don't want engaging with you and participating with you aren't there, okay? It's very different, when I use other short form content and people say all sorts of stuff, well, I can't stop that. But when I live stream, they basically don't bother me. Now, what happened yesterday obviously was something that we care deeply about, securing this environment. We're looking very closely at everything that happened there, and I care deeply about Emmy. She's a friend of mine, and so I want to see how we can support her. This is just something we have to keep working on. I think everyone identifies our tools in terms of trust and safety as the leaders in the industry about helping creators, but that means there's always more work to be done because that's the world we live in now.
Demi had posted earlier today that I guess this fan was allowed to cross multiple barriers at TwitchCon. Why should streamers trust Twitch to keep them safe at TwitchCon? Because I feel like simultaneously this has been such a secure event to the point that even journalists have had struggled. It is very secure, but here's this man that just walks up and is somehow able to bypass all these things. So why should they trust the platform when slip-ups or, issues like this have happened?
Well, as you know, I think you toured some of what we do in terms of security. The reality is, even as you do a lot in terms of security in today's world, there are challenges that can present themselves, especially when someone is putting themselves out there, right? And so, we try to work very closely with each creator about what they want to do and what works for them, right? So I don't want to get into any specifics or details, but part of that is working with creators and, trying to find them. Right now, we're definitely, ramping it up to make sure creators know that we have the resources there to help them figure out what's right for them.
There is so much I could say about this fucking clip. Let's see, the safety is our top priority talk. It's complete corpo speak. That's what they're supposed to say, you know what I mean? The thing that bothers me about what Dan Clancy said is the fact that he said, you can control your community, you can ban people. This is an in-person event. What he implies is that if you ban certain people from your streams, that this kind of thing won't happen. That's not true. I do YouTube videos. I don't always have the people who watch my videos in my chat. I don't always know who the fuck is watching my videos. Yes, I ban people who I think are being weird or creepy or they just don't really align with what I advocate for. You know what? I'll just fucking say it. I've had people join my community who were talking about racism. Somebody else said that actually Hitler's not all that bad. Yes, of course I ban people like that, but that doesn't mean there aren't people there lurking in chat, in your videos and content who aren't saying anything, who are like that. It is hard to moderate everyone and get everyone you wouldn't want in your community out of it, and so that's why security is so important. You never know who's watching, and you never know who's gonna show up, and who might do shit like this, right? It feels like victim blaming. It's completely irrelevant. Emiru didn't fucking endorse this shit. The guy himself decided on his own to come to TwitchCon to cut the line, to go in, find her, hug her, and then try to kiss her, right? He says it's something we need to keep working on. How? How do you plan on working on it? This was a real in-person assault, dude. committed under a Twitch-controlled event. It is your job to make sure that your streamers are safe at your fucking event. But as Tectone said, how can we even fucking expect him to moderate a live in-person event when he can't even moderate his fucking platform? There's people on there who've like showed almost their entire fucking asshole there. It's just there. It's out in the open. Front page even sometimes. He said, we try to work closely with each creator on what works for them. You perma-banned her fucking security guard from the event after he did his job, dude. She wanted to bring him. You're the one who said that she can't because he did his job. It only gets worse from here though. And then the big finale. Emiru finally says something. She drops a statement about her assault at TwitchCon. Emiru says, hello everyone. I am okay and thank you for all of the kind messages. Sorry I cannot respond to them all. Yesterday, the man who assaulted me was allowed to cross multiple barriers at TwitchCon and even in front of another creator's meet and greet to grab me and my face and try to kiss me. Fortunately, he wasn't able to, but a lot of people have pointed out it could have been a lot worse. I'm obviously shaken up by what happened, and it's not the first time I've dealt with something like this. It shouldn't be that way, but to tell you honestly, I am a lot more hurt and upset by how Twitch handled it during and after the fact. Like I said, I don't understand how he was allowed to make it to me in the first place. The security in the clip who reacts is my own security. It's true my favorite and usual security guard was banned for holding a stalker's arm to bring him to police at a past TwitchCon. So the only fucking security guy there wasn't even Twitch security, it was her own fucking bodyguard. Then of course Emmy in a VOD actually talks about the situation a little bit more.
Okay, I've been talking to Twitch people and I'm really upset because I noticed a lot of negligence around the event and I'm not happy with the way that they're handling it now. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I asked them, you know, like, what are they gonna do about this? And you know what they said initially? They said, oh, well, he's banned from the platform for 30 days. What?
Yes, you heard that right. Their initial response was, oh yeah, we'll ban him from twitch.tv for 30 days only. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, that's not the problem here, dude. This guy came up to her and tried to fucking kiss her against her fucking will. And your response is to just ban him from the platform, not from the event? That's weird. That's real fucking weird, dude.
And then she's obviously like, hello? Like, that needs to be indefinite. What the fuck are you talking about? Also, that's like nothing to do with anything. No one gives a fuck if he's banned on Twitch or not. Like, we're talking about the convention here. So they changed it to indefinite. Takes an hour for that to happen, by the way. These two people are the head of security for Amazon and the head of risk for Twitch. Also, later the same night, I'm not gonna drop names here because I wasn't there, so I didn't see it, but I had multiple people tell me that key Twitch representatives last night were out partying.
Yep. Asmongold ended up reacting to this too.
The head of security for Amazon and the head of risk for Twitch.
Wow. Yep, that was who. I was gonna leak it to my friend, but I guess I don't have to now.
Also, later the same night, I'm not gonna drop names here because I wasn't there, so I didn't
That's
see
who
it.
they were.
But I had multiple people tell me that key Twitch representatives last night were out partying.
She's speaking about Dan Clancy himself,
Okay.
by the way. Was out partying at an influencer event
Also
while this
another
was
detail.
happening.
Sorry, my lines are all crazy here.
I'll say that one.
Yeah. Seems like he really cares about people's safety, huh? Emiru, of course, basically calls out security at TwitchCon for joking and laughing about the incident that occurred during her meet and greet. She also called out Twitch for lying in their statement about the man being immediately caught and detained, saying it took them hours. My friend who was present told me Twitch security were also behind the booth afterwards, joking about how they didn't even see what happened and immediately laughing and moving on to talking about something else. So if no no one was checking if I was okay or if I needed anything, and they let the guy run away initially. I have no idea what anyone hired to keep the event safe was doing. In Twitch's statement, they said that the guy was immediately caught and detained. I'm sorry, but that is a blatant lie. He was allowed to walk away from my meet and greet, and I didn't hear he was caught until hours after he attacked me. And it felt like this only happened because of my manager pressing for it, not because TwitchCon staff present thought it was a big deal. To conclude, it doesn't seem like Twitch really cares that much about safety. They don't really take it seriously like they should. I've never been to a TwitchCon. I have thought about it. I will tell you a true story here. When I first blew up and my the shoujo videos got a lot of views and I started to get people in my Twitch chat and people actually watching my content, you know, I felt pretty good. I was like, oh my god, there's people who are watching me, there's people in my chat, I'm starting to get to know my chatters, this is pretty great. And I thought about it. I thought about going to a TwitchCon just so I could meet with people because I thought it would be fun. But even back then, I had heard things from tons of friends about how TwitchCon wasn't all that safe, tons of things would happen at these places, and I didn't feel safe to go. I was told literally not to by several people. And this was way before any of this shit happened. Obviously, I wouldn't be going for getting a meet and greet booth or anything like that. I don't think I'm large enough for that, but I just thought it would be nice to meet up with people, you know what I mean? Because I have a small community. But after meeting certain people in my community who were quite strange, yeah, and hearing about all this stuff, even way before having friends telling me it wasn't a good idea, I thought about it and I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't the play. Maybe I should just stay away from these events because I don't want to get into any sort of trouble. Obviously, I couldn't afford a fucking bodyguard. I'd probably ask a friend to go with me if anything. Who knows what could have fucking happened if I actually went. And that's the scary part about it, you know what I mean? I'm here to talk about it because obviously I am a female, and I've also made it very apparent I'm quite short, I'm kind of scrawny, I definitely don't have any muscle or any way of defending myself. I don't know, kung fu or any shit like that. I think more people need to talk about this. Men, women, because I've also seen a clip of a guy getting harassed. I've known guys who have had stalkers in the VTuber community. I've known women who've had stalkers in the VTuber community, and I'm sure it doesn't just apply to VTubers, it's just streamers in general. There's always going to be parasocial fans no matter who you are, no matter how small or how large you are. People need to talk about this more because Twitch actually needs to do something about this. And I agree with everybody who has the sentiment that everybody at TwitchCon needs to leave. Don't go to it. Just don't go to the event. Go do something else. But just don't give Twitch more money to do these events. They're gonna keep doing this shit and not caring because, it makes money, right? And then people are gonna get hurt, which is something we really don't want here. If you've had an experience like this, talk about it. Speak out about it. Make some fucking noise. I hope Emiru is okay after the situation, and I hope stuff like this won't happen anymore. There needs to be more security, and they need to let her fucking bodyguard from before back in, because these creators need protection. They do. You would not believe the amount of parasocial people that are online. They give you $5 every month and they think that they're married to you, you know? It's chronically online weirdos who will always be like this. And again, just because you ban a whole bunch of people who are being weird doesn't mean that there aren't lurkers who are also going to be weird. People who you don't even know are there, who are watching you, who probably have fucking pictures of you all over their walls. That they kiss goodnight every single night or some shit. Some fucking serial killer shit, for real. But anyways, that is all I have to say. Be safe out there. For anybody who decides that for some fucking reason they still want to be at TwitchCon, please be safe. Look out for yourselves, and I guess that's really it. Subscribe, or I'm going to put the fucking Hassan shock collar on Charles. He's gonna get the lightning. Bye-bye!